historic occasion also for the 11th Parliament. In the 11th Parliament, we were blessed with the people for Rai Coast and the people of Central Province who've sent two strong leaders, female leaders, into Parliament. And we have been fortunate to have them in and amongst us as a team of leaders for our country. And today is a momentous occasion where we've called into Cabinet the Honorable Kessy Sawang, our recent past Vice Minister for International Trade, who as member for Rai Coast has stepped into national call of duties very well in the last 11 months since her appointment as a Vice Minister. She has served distinctively her role in promoting our country as an investment destination, assisting Minister Maru, and today at the earliest opportunity when there was a vacancy in Cabinet, when the Leadership Tribunal that ruled against the member for Madang created a vacancy, and in a house of many equals, we felt that she at this point in time was qualified in many fronts. More importantly, not just as member for Rai Coast, but representing all our mothers and daughters of our country, and having a woman leader in the ranks of government. We could not have gone past her in respect to a vacancy that was in Cabinet. But apart from this, not just a woman, but she's overly qualified, an economist by her own qualification, has strong work experience, more so in the revenue collection sector of our country, in her previous life in the public service. And so she brings into Cabinet all round of experience to contribute into the way we will be running our country going forward. She will fill into the role as a Labour and Employment Minister, a portfolio that the Honourable Bryan Krammer had, and all this with respect to the Honourable Krammer's appeal that is going on before Supreme Court, appealing his leadership court, but the Honourable Krammer was kind enough to allow for us to move into filling the void and vacancy. Work needs to continue, and Minister, the Honourable Kessy Sawang, brings into the table and depth and wealth of experience. I just want to also congratulate the Rai Coast people for having confidence in her leadership. She got elected on merit, which the fact that people in that electorate chose her to be their representative in the floor of Parliament. And that choice was not a mistaken or misplaced choice. It was a choice of a good leader, and her colleagues in our entire government caucus. The 103 members of Parliament in our government caucus gave a resounding vote of confidence when I consulted all of them, and before us moving into the government house this afternoon, the entire government caucus made huge commendation on her call into Cabinet because of her own strength as a very strong leader with resounding qualities that could go well to ensure the portfolio that she takes charge of delivers to outcome. Mind you, on a side note, she reminded me in this morning's meeting that this is the first time ever a member for Rai Coast has been elevated into a national cabinet. Member for Rai Coast has been elevated. Quite emotional in that sense. Rai Coast is an important economic electorate. Apart from fisheries and forestry and agriculture, they host the Ramon Nicol mine outlet. And it's the first time a voice from Rai Coast is now to be placed in a national cabinet. And so congratulations to the people of Rai Coast. You're not an off-cut, you're an integral part of our country. Your member now is placed in cabinet, replacing a member of parliament from Madang province, by the way, and I have the governor of Madang, the Honorable Pariwa, also here. Politically speaking, they come from the People's First Party. The Honorable Richard Maru is the leader of the party, a strong partner of the Pangu-led government. Four of them in the current government, but party consideration was little on our mind as we picked her into cabinet. Her own qualification, the people of Madang, more importantly Rai Coast, were some of the major factors, and also the fact that I don't like to play so much on the gender issue, but we could not have ignored a qualified woman in our ranks at the earliest opportunity to appoint into ministry. She was right there for appointment, and having seen how she worked in the last 11 months in a vice ministry portfolio, she took it by the horns and delivered her work to the highest standard. One of the work that herself and Minister Maru is doing is the Indigenous Business Council, World Indigenous Business Forum or Summit, to be held later this year, October this year, if I'm not wrong. Again, she went out there in the international meeting under Minister Maru's watch, lobbied for PNG to be host of this important meeting, and it is coming home. To PNG for this meeting. So again, to my leadership. But I've worked with her also personally myself. For instance, last New Year's Eve, when everyone chose to spend New Year's Eve elsewhere, she joined Mrs. Marape and myself and Minister Sungi. We drove from Tari down into Kikori, and I felt that as a woman leader, she didn't hide behind the comfort or discomfort, and she chose to travel with us on rough road, especially road that was never traveled publicly, from Kurubu down to Kikori, seeing that part of the country that needs to be opened up. So, these are little qualities that shows that you have heart for service to your country in your heart and in your sleeves and in your mind, and then you are recognized. And I just want to appreciate a good day it is, not just for Rai Coast, but more importantly, Madang, but more importantly for the country, as we see a very fine daughter making her way into cabinet. I just want to, on behalf of Rachel and myself and our children, and more importantly, Pangu Party, that I humbly lead, we want to wish her all the very best. And we will stand with her every step of the way to shepherd her, guide her, mentor her, nurture her, as she said, so that we do not eliminate women leadership in our country, but preserve women leadership in our country for the better of our children to come.
I am profoundly grateful that in your wisdom you made a decision to appoint me as one of the cabinet ministers in the Marape government, the executive arm of the government. It's a very milestone decision for this country, because you are an inclusive Prime Minister. You are now bringing in the voices of women and girls of Papua New Guinea into your cabinet. So on behalf of all the women and girls of Papua New Guinea, Prime Minister, I want to thank you for this decision to make me a part of a member of your cabinet. Mito thank you lo all people lo mi lo Rai Coast, you hurry me, you look at me. Mito thank you lo you giving me this mandate, so me come na mino represent you platasol, but all get all mama na susalo Papua New Guinea. Mito thank you na me pa continue lo wong po them Prime Minister lo you me as a state minister lo contribute lo development lo country lo you me at the national level na lo district na province lo mi plato. So thank you lo mi ko lo Rai Coast. So I want to thank also my party leader, the Honorable Richard Maru, for having that confidence in me to actually sponsor me in his party, and here I am today. I give all glory and honor to God, because along the way He has led me, and He has actually empowered me and given me wisdom, understanding, and the knowledge to rise up to that step of leadership in this country, so we can have both men and women bringing their lived experiences into policy making and into law making in this country in our highest office, that is our legislature. I to say thank you so much. I will do my best to perform in the role as the Prime Minister has given me, and I am looking forward to contributing to make our country great. It's a great country, a beautiful country, great people. The eyes of God is upon this nation, and it's upon us leaders now that we're going to make this place better for our children under the leadership of our Prime Minister, Honorable James Marape, the Marape government, and Pangulet government. And I want to say thank you so much for the support that I am getting from all of the members of Parliament and everybody out there who are listening to me today. Thank you.
You can't get any better and clearer than this one. Sometimes the still small voice is a better voice to listen to than some of the big noises that you have. Very good. Minister, she will do well in her portfolio. The labor and employment is a big economic portfolio. Earlier you would have noted me packing both immigration together. There's some tasks currently undertaken in the immigration space. We will still keep it as it is today. The Honorable John Rosso is running through some tasks, and she will take charge, especially the labor and employment. At the moment, many outstanding tasks before that. I have been advised from the last report I read, thousands of jobs that is meant for Papua New Guineans are in the hands of foreign workers. And we are looking for employment space. For those who hide under the shades of the labor and employment under the trees and all over the place, you have a no-nonsense woman leader who does not tolerate market businesses coming into the space to clean it up, look into the labor and employment sector. Papua New Guinea's job must be passed to Papua New Guineans. Foreigners, you come into the job space that Papua New Guineans aren't qualified to fit into the space. So we look into the labor laws, polish that, we fix it up. It's an important economic sector. We also ramping up on export of Papua New Guinean laborers to Australia and New Zealand, as well as USA. We're working the space very, very strongly. And she will also having a handle on this space in the labor and employment sector. Later on, when the works in terms of what we're doing in tidying up immigration is over, we look forward to amalgamating all of that together. So we have total confidence in the Honorable Kessy to step into this department. It is a big space. As I said, I don't want to give you all an indication, but a substantial number of jobs is occupied by foreign workers, into thousands, easily over 10,000 from the last report I had. This is a space that needs cleaning up. I just saw someone from outside completely come in, having a deep look into this one, and she will go into that place to handle that sector very, very well.